Guys, Keith Trades. Today is January 15th, CPI day. Yet another great day. As you guys can see the title of this video, psychology tips. How can these small psychology tips transform your trading? We're going to get into testimonials. We're going to get into our pre-market plan and our trade setups. And then we're going to break down my psychology tips and how I get better. But we had Dom cash out a 1.4K trade. Gabe took the long model I called in the chat for $348 profit. And Jordan caught our PM session win at $300. And then some other members just hate me. They don't want to post testimonials. But anyways, let's get into my pre-market plan. My pre-market plan was the same as yesterday's, right? We had a huge push to CPI. I said we swept data highs. We could look for a short model down in data lows. That happened yesterday. Did not happen today. But I said this. We have bullish news. And it was very bullish news, right? Inflation went down. That means that the dollar went down and the market should do what? Go up. So I was calling in the chat, probably in the VIP chat. I was calling on the live that I want longs. I'm not going to take any shorts today. I want long all day. And we had a plan for retrace and a discount, for retrace in the 5 and 15, and looking for continuation to the upside to what? 21,329. So what does that look like? Right? Again, 530 hits, a huge push into the market open. Why did I call for around the 160 mark? Because I wanted to see us potentially fill this 1 minute imbalance. But that just did not happen, and that's totally fine. Right? Our main point was to see us respect the 15-minute imbalance here, huge imbalance, and the 5-minute. Right? And we were respecting it nicely. So coming into the open, we originally had looked for an inverse setup. Right? We're looking for an inverse model here. We got our inverse entry here. But what happened on the candle closure? We were 20 points away from the entry. So I called members to potentially get a 1 minute fair value gap entry here. And market shot up some more. And now we're looking at an entry here. Right? The market could slide all the way down, dip below this fair value gap, but still close above it and run the high. That would still make my plan right. So I would have to put my stop here. And what does that give you? A 50-point risk to make 50 points. So a 1-to-1. I am okay with 1-to-1s, not at a 50-point risk. Yes, I was confident, but we caught 50 points yesterday. We caught 40 points on Monday. That is a very, very stupid mistake to take a trade that could give back yesterday's profit. So what did we do? There's no trade. I told members, hey, this is going to work out. I'm pretty confident it will, but I cannot factor in my risk, and I'm going to stay disciplined. Why? Discipline and the patience will always pay. And then we looked for our continuation model, right? We had a 5-minute fair value gap that formed. We broke structure, left the 5-minute behind. Did we fill the 5-minute? No. But I saw ES dip this 5-minute and NQ did not. So then we have an SMT here. So I was looking for an inverse or a bullish fair value gap to form. Did we get any inverses or bullishes? Nope. No trade. Wait a little bit longer. Start to chop and go sideways. So what do? No trade AM. A big CPI day, and we had 2 potential trades that hit, but we didn't take a trade. Why? Because I know what I need to see. I know my risk reward. I did not get that, so I do what I said. This is why I did not trade, and that patience will always pay. And then we did what? Had the discipline to hop off. I came back on during lunch hour because I usually see the early continuation long or the early reversal happen during lunch, which is what I've been noticing. So I hopped on a bit earlier, and I was able to catch a very great quality trade. That was the trade that Gabe took, and that I was looking for. 5-minute fair value gap formed. We have swept out sell side and failed to run lower. I'm looking for what? Retrace and respect. Right? We trade back into this fair value gap. We have bounced off this 1-minute gap 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. So if we wanted to go short, we would see this inverse. We would see a run lower. We did not see that. What we saw was a bearish fair value gap here get inversed. But if we zoom in closely here, my entry didn't come and it closed way too high. Once we formed this bullish gap, I was not on my toes to set my limit, but I got a fill at 320. And I just placed my stop below this gap. Why did I do that? Because I was confident. We did not run lower through the 5-minute nor inverse this 1 minute. We should see efficient delivery. While they're looking for efficient delivery. Stacked buy side. We had highs here, equal high here, right? We had a bunch of stacked liquidity that should have been ran. But I want to play this trade conservative, and my first target was this 1 minute high here, which paid me about 20-ish, 30 points. 28 points. I scaled, got break even. And I trailed my stop up to below the fair value. And I got fully out here for 40 points. But you asked me, my target was up here. Why did I scale early? Number one, it was a 40-point trade. Number two was this. ES took out these highs before NQ did. So now we have what? A potential SMT to run lower, which ended up happening. Right? If we go to ES, we can see that these 820 highs, again, remember these stacked highs here? They get swept at 940. They get swept on ES. So a higher high for ES, and we see a, what? 940 area right here. We see a lower high. We fail to sweep these stacked highs. So what do? I play smart. I cover out fully here. And then I hopped on PM session. I went live. And I caught a nice, again, the same exact setup as this one, a continuation long. This stuff works, guys. Right? There's a 5-minute fair value confluence, but this is a much more higher quality confluence. Again, we have a 15-minute fair value gap bearish here. If we were looking to run lower, we would have saw respect. We would have seen what? Continuation lower. But we ended up inversing it with the candle closure above and trading back into it at this price here. Boom. Now I am looking, after we dipped the 15-minute and we found instant buying, I'm looking for a point of entry. There was this inverse here, but I did not take. You guys know my favorite points of entries are when we see a once respected fair value gap get disrespected. And that comes from this bearish here, 48 entry, right? We see rejection once, rejection twice. So this respected fair value gap then gets invalidated, and we snagger along at 48, and I place my stop below the bullish fair value gap and below this inverse. So I was looking at a 16-point stop. And what was my target, guys? These two equal highs here. 16-point stop to pay 23 points. And then my final TP was going to be these 90 highs here, which paid us 40 points in profit. Boom, 43 points. All right, why did I not target the high? Because market was choppy and slow, so we adapt. Number two, I just didn't see a reason for market to run a new high. I thought this was a totally fine point to scale at a 40 point, over 2-to-1. And in hindsight, looking back, that was a baller scale because it dipped down. But why did market continue higher? Because we have higher time frame narrative. Again, higher time frame always is number one. We see this daily fair value gap here with a daily buy side high that hasn't been hit. We hit that thing around the penny. Boom. Look at that now. And then it sells right back off. Right? That's pretty darn precise. So again, what was the psychology today? What is a tip that's going to transform your life? You always hear it. Patience pays. If I do not get my model, if I cannot factor in risk, there is no trade. If I don't have everything set up perfectly, I will not trade. And we'll get into my psychology tips that I sent the members, and that is how I've been able to get even better and even more profitable and get better execution. Trade like a robot. Number one thing I'm going to go into is this. I do not care what the market does. I show up and I am detached. I am composed. I don't care what it does. I simply wait for my SMT inverse or my 5 and 15-minute continuation model. If I do not get those trades, I will not take a trade. Why? Because a discipline to wait for it pays. All right, what happened today? I had my model here, too big of risk, no trade. I have my setup, no entry, okay, no trade. And that discipline to not trade paid in a long win here, in another win here. So discipline to not take 2 trades that won gave me 2 more wins. You see that? So what is it? Trade like a robot. You cannot control the market outcome, nor can you control the outcome of your trade. What you can control is your edge. Statistically speaking, back-tested, proven on live, I will win 70 to 80% of the time. So I know that I will win in the long run. So why should I care about what this trade does? I've seen A-plus setups stop me out for 20 points. But yesterday, that A-plus setup paid me 70 points. So am I going to care about it? Nope. Right? And I do what? I can lessen my risk by focusing on one trade, one quality model. Why do I do that? Because the best traders do that. It's about capital, not the amount of trading you do. The more you trade, the more at risk you are. If I take a 20-point win with one micro, it's $40. If I take 2 minis, it's $800. See the difference? Capital, not amount of trades. And here is the points you want to hit. If you can stay disciplined, right? Wait for your quality perfect setup and just execute that and be content with whatever happens, you will be much more profitable than trying to find every single damn win, every single trade, right? And if you do not get that setup, you focus on what? Detach. Watch the market move. Don't care. Understand that, hey, my setup's not here. That's where I'm profitable. That's where I make my money. And there's just no trade. Wait for another day. Wait for another session. We did that, right? There's no trade in AM. Waited for PM. Got one. And lastly, right? You will reach profitability by knowing exactly what you need to see. I know exactly what my setup needs. I know my narrative, my model, my points of entry, my risk to reward. It's laser focused. If I do not get exactly that, and if I do not get that clear look, there's no trade. And that discipline always pays. And also, I'm trading live in front of people, so I can't fuck up anyways, right? But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. A bit of a recap psychology video for January 15th. But thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. And if you want to join the Discord, there'll be a link in the bio. And we're going to continue to do what? Stay composed, let the market come to us, execute, and detach. Day in and day out, robotic. But until next time, guys, peace out.